back to what I was asking earlier. We got all these splintered, so-called melanated communities
And that's what
from
I
the
was getting to.
16,
The problem
1700s
here's the problem.
that we
If
don't
you
know who
think
we are. We're just
right,
mishmash now.
right. So therefore,
Hodgepodge.
that's where we need the reset. We don't need to reset and say, "Hey, we're these people of this people." What we need to reset to do is say, "Okay, our history is fucked up. Fuck our history. Fuck all the bullshit that we went through. That was some bullshit y'all put us through. We'll get you next time around. But for now, we need to start right here. What are we going to do as a people right now? Who are we going to be? What are we going to hang our hat on as people right now? And this is why we keep falling back into the same hole. Because when we do get prominent people up top, those people go into a certain position, right? And then instead of us, the average Black American, instead of us getting behind them, we're the first person to tear them down. We're like, nah, he wants to do this, or he's an Uncle Tom that, or he's a Sambo this, or he don't really care, or he don't have no power. We start hating on him immediately.
So, what is different between the Jewish community that you grew up in New York and even in the South, all over the Midwest, but mostly in the Northeast?
The difference between
what
the
they're
Jewish
doing
community,
hold on,
the
let me
Korean,
finish.
it's a real simple thing.
I'm just gonna get to my. I want to say the whole thing. What are they
Run
doing?
out of time.
What are they doing in the community? So, more massively.
They know who they are. That's it. They know who they are. They know where they come from. They know they all have a common goal. They have a common ancestry, and they know how to get there. They didn't have the type of ancestry where half of their people sold the other half, and now the half that sold is trying to figure out who they are. They didn't have that. That's just not their history. That's why you can have a Little Italy or a Jewish community or Little China, because they all have a common ancestry. And that's what's wrong with the Black Americans. We don't have a common ancestry, but we're trying to get people together like people who have a common ancestry. And it's just not going to happen. It's not. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse because of the simple fact that now our culture is a culture of want, is a culture of desire. Black Americans' culture is based on what I can get and what I can brag about to my people over here. That's the problem.
So you think this religious diatribe, people becoming, Nation Islam, Hebrew Israelites.
That's why they don't work.
Because they have all these, they have a centralized belief.
Right.
That comes out of a certain book that they follow.
Right, but that's why it's not going to work.
Like the Christian communities in America, Black African American, we're heavy with Christianity. This is the biggest religion in this nation. And we're, Brimstone Baptist Fire Church or
right.
The Episcopalian.
But that's based off of slavery times.
Right, so I'm saying.
And us being hard brainwashed into it.
My whole point is, do we need to get rid of that in order to grow more, become more, in order for us to reset with this new generation, what we call them now? Z? Generation X? Oh,
nah, I think they're Z's.
Next.
They're,
Generation Next.
I call them Generation Microwave, man. Because they can't do nothing if it ain't right in their face right now. They're not millennials.
Oh,
because millennials ended, I think, in very early 2000, 2004, 5,
okay,
6.
But the millennium is all
the
ones who were, around in those age group that were born around then. They're becoming 20-year-olds now.
Oh, they are 20s.
Right, and they're 20s.
Millennials are like 26, 20.
Right.
Because I got 2 millennial daughters.
Right, so there will be.
Shout out to Bree and Jay.
I got a lot of, nephews and nieces and grandnephews.
But
and grandnieces.
the problem is because we the old heads have fought and battled so much, they have the type of mentality like they're over it. They don't want to be part of a fight. Sure. They don't want to think back then. And that might be the best thing for a reset. The problem is now we're getting in the way.
Right, but what do we take out from the elements that gets out of their way? The religion, is it the religion? Because I think religion is something that weighs us down going forward. Like I said, the Jewish community, they got their religion, but it's grounded into their politics and how they move everything.
Well, it's grounded
economics.
to them.
Right. It's the part of their whole culture.
But that's who they come from. Christianity was something that was thrust upon us. So we have no history in it. The only history we have in it is from slavery going forward. It wasn't Christians in Africa.
So these Hebrew Israelites, you see all of these splinter groups all around town and all over the U.S.
That's what the problem
They're
is.
coming together strong.
They're not coming together strong.
No, I'm just saying they're being recruited strong. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Muslims have been recruiting on freaking street corners with bean pies for the last doggone 55 years.
Right.
And what has that gotten them?
I'm just saying.
The one light-skinned brother, the minister that runs stuff, and he puts out knowledge. But what has that done? What has that done?
My question to you is, because I do agree, I'm saying, should we reset with these religions?
No.
Or should we reset with something different and new? And if not, if it is no, what is this new thing that you think for us to fast track to where we need to be? Because we're going to be having the same conversations another 100 years from now.
Here's the thing that I think of Bake Your Noodle. What I think we should reset is with nothing. We need to get rid of color, religion, and history.
Okay.
That, in my opinion, that's the only way that we're going to prosper as a people. Because those three things.
So science and technology is what needs to be implemented heavily in the thought process of our children.
Talking to an engineer, yeah, I would say that.
But
My thing is this: it's not so much what do we.
So how do we do it? We do it in our own schools. We homeschool.
See,
we create our own system. Or you got to implement it into the schools that exist already.
No, see, that's still the thinking. That's the problem. That's still the archaic thinking. For us to succeed, we have to get behind something. We have to change something here at the former root to get up there.
Educate those who are melanated people.
First of all, that's what I'm saying. You have to get rid of melanated. You have to get rid of black. You have to get rid of that, because that is the very thing that's holding our people down. Because we as a people, black is forever American tied to slavery, poverty, socialism, things of this nature.
How do you get those people to move forward as a people together collectively?
You don't. That's the thing.
Oh, you just want us to blend in with everybody else, all the different other nations.
Here's one thing that I really have felt very strong about. Here's what I felt very strongly about. For change to happen, change has to start from within. It has to start from within.
Sure.
And the only way you can invoke change from within is you have to become part of the machine. You can't just get in a machine and still act like a different part. You can't be in a car, in a Ford. You can't be, listen what I'm saying. You can't be in a Ford and identify yourself as a GMC key.
Right.
You can be in the car, but you're not going to turn that car on. You're not going to have anything to do with the position that the car goes. So therefore, if you get into the portion of society that's running things, and that portion of society doesn't see you as a threat and doesn't see you as any different than itself, then you can invoke change. Because that's the only way society is going to accept what you're going to do is change, is if society feels that it's doing it from within. It's a part of that change. That's the only way. That's it. We've had a black president, and it changed nothing.
Right. So how do you implement?
Like I said, what you have to do, you have to get rid of color, religion, and history. You can't have the newer young population of politicians that happen to share our skin tones, have them believing that they're different than anybody else because of said skin tone.
Okay. So at this point, you're saying,
because we've tried it for the last 200 years almost. We've tried.
So we just take out religion, and the
color,
so-called
and
color
history.
and history of our education system.
Out of everything.
Okay.
See,
Right, out of education, and politics, and everything. Now, when you do that, you just keep the same system the way it is. The schools, everybody go to the same type of schools.
No. Once those lines have been blurred and everybody is successful or everybody's failing at the same rate, we're all together on it, then you can implement changes that affect the entire machine. But you're not going to be, we as Black Americans are never going to be able to establish what Jewish Americans have. We're not going to be able to establish what Italian Americans have or any of these other places because we don't have the grounded foundation to do so.
I'm just asking you, we keep the same
listen,
that we're
see,
living in?
that's what I'm saying. See, you
So I'm
can't
just saying,
you can't
take
even
those-
see the concept.
I understand what you're saying.
You don't,
Take out
because
those
you're
elements.
saying
Take out those elements, those three
if
elements.
you take out those elements,
And we leave
then the
whatever-
system changes on its own. It's only when you still hold on to those that you want to invoke change, that you want to see a change. But it's never going to happen. It's not. It doesn't matter how many Black groups gain as much power as they want. What's going to happen?
I'm not mentioning it. I'm saying
You're
during
still
that-
mentioning the same archaic way of thinking,
No,
which is,
during-
well, you know what? Teach our kids
No,
our own stuff
no,
in schools when
no.
they're
I
younger.
never said
So
that.
when they become politicians, they become brainwashed into what I want them to
never
change to.
said that. I said, so when you take out religion, color, and whatever
And
else,
history.
what happens? What do you do?
Then you become part of the system. If you are part of the system, then how the system moves, you all move. Damn, I didn't mean to hit the mic like that. But once the system moves, you all move. You become a cog in the machine. The problem is, as Black Americans, we want to be the machine, but we don't want no parts of how the machine runs. We just think, yo, we're owed something. We need to do our own thing. Yo, we don't have nothing and we want stuff. Yeah, but the driver of the car itself, the steering wheel, the engine, and all that,
I'm
they're
asking you a
going
question.
this way.
I understand. When we take those elements out, follow me now.
Right.
We still go to the same schools. We blend in with everything else.
But we're not blending yet. That's what I'm saying.
So what happens
We're
next?
going
I'm
to those
asking
schools. I just told you. Are you
said-
not listening?
You said we go into a machine. That's like so general.
No. It's very
Break
specific.
it down. What you're saying.
I literally just did. I said Ford and GMC. But here we go. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, so right now.
Tangible. Talk
Here-
about tangible stuff. I know you said Ford and GMC.
Okay, so you bringing up a hypothetical situation and you're telling me to make it tangible. It's all hypothetical. How can I give you something tangible on a hypothetical? Come on,
saying-
man. You're not being fair now.
All right. Related to something that
Okay.
we are existing now, and that change comes when we take those three elements out.
See,
How this thing works.
listen
How-
to what you're saying, and that's why you can't get it. Because what I'm saying is, if you become part of the machine, then the change happens within you so that you function the way the machine does. What you're still saying is, okay, so I take this out. How does it change? No. See, that's what you're not getting. The change isn't going to be to the machine. The change is going to be to us as a people. That's what the problem is. America is based on a certain belief structure, a certain foundation. That's what America is. We as Black Americans, we were never part of that system. We built that system.
Right.
You know, it's like what they used to tell us in the Marine Corps. You know, you uphold the Constitution, but you're not part of it. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what we did as Marines, if we gave our life on the battlefield, or if we turned this wrench or drove this car or gave this part of supply or did this paperwork, none of it affected us with the Constitution. None of it. It wasn't until we left the Marine Corps and became civilians again that the Constitution was part of us. You see what I'm saying? Because before that, UCMJ was our laws. You know, none of that shit under the Constitution deals with military members. None of it. But you fight for it. You'll die for it. You sign on the paper saying that you'll give your very last breath for that piece of paper. But you no longer are part of that. That's what the black condition is right now. We help build something. We help drive something, but we're not part of it. And that goes from the very beginning when it was like, yeah, you're not really all human. So we could use that to say you're technically property, and then later use that to justify your big group areas, not your vote isn't as worthy as somebody else in a smaller group area. It's all tied into the same. If you hold on to your color, if you hold on to your history, and if you hold on to your religion, then what you're saying is, I will never be part of that system. I want that system to stop being what it is and be what I want it to be. Because there's no way it's going to be a dual system, not in the US. Actually, there's very few places where there is a dual system and it functions. You know, most of that is called dictatorships. You have a president and you have a general of the army, and they're fighting each other left and right. Like my dad told me a long time ago, and it holds true, the most basic thing ever. Anything in this world with more than one head is a freak. So you can't have a system that's functioning and is doing something, and then you start another system over here in the same place and think they're gonna coincide. Humans are not built that way. It has nothing to do with white, black, or anything else. We're just not built we're really not built for multitasking, which is another illusion of society. The way our brains function is it works on this, and then when it stops working on this, it works on this. Now we get the illusion of, because both are problems and we're working here, working here, working here, working here, but we can't simultaneously work on both problems at the exact same time. We're not built that way. It's just the human condition. We're not computers. Our brains are very well advanced, but we can't do that. And it's the same thing with government and society. If you want to leave it in just basic terms, black or white, if you have a white system and that white system is basically running everything, you can't be black and want black things and it still be the white system. And they damn sure ain't gonna give it to us. They ain't gonna say, oh, okay, well, we ran things long enough. Let's do it the black way now. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So the only way you can get change, you have to change yourself. Now, I'm not saying in the terms of like selling out or anything like that. What I'm saying is you have to become part of the thing if you want the thing to be successful. And then you have to draw your successes from the very thing that you're becoming part of. And as black people, we don't want that. We want to be successes, and we want ours to be the only thing, and then everybody get on ours. You see it in rappers and sports and everything else. It's straight up, hey, I got this chain. Look at my chain. My chain's big. And the first thing that somebody's saying is, yo, I want that chain. Now, the black culture tells you, well, I'll never play basketball. I'll never play football on a pro level, make millions. So now I got to snatch it. Or I got to be poor and just always look at it on TV and want it. That's what our culture, that's what black is. And it's horrible, but at the roots, that's what it is.
A lot of communities that were so-called African American during that, that explosion of independent communities that we had from the 1880s, 50s.
What is this explosion?
No,
you're still talking minority, bro.
No, I'm just saying, a lot of those communities that was created, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were left free, we have to fend for each other to help.
Well, no, we didn't know how to fend for each other. We fended for ourselves, and then other people joined in. That's where the problem is.
I'm saying these thriving communities that were African. They were helping each other to build the community.
And what happened?
They got either snatched up or bombed or
the machine ran over them, right?
But my whole point is this: that collective idea is being done in other communities, and they're living off of it all the way up until now, right? The Jewish communities are doing it.
The Jewish community,
are doing it.
No. What they're doing is they're using the system to benefit themselves, and they're doing it the right way. They're getting together and they're deciding on a common goal within the system, and then they're getting their people as lobbyists in front of people. They're greasing the right palms of the system so that the system drives the way that they want it to drive as well.
I know.
That is becoming part of the system. That's what the system is.
We're trying to do that, but they
We're
were saying,
not.
you're not equal.
We're not.
Equal.
No.
Come to our system.
No, we're not. We're not. Even when I've talked to you off camera, what have you said to me?
Listen.
The Hebrewist movement, the Islam movement, all these different movements.
I'm saying,
how many different Jewish movements have you heard of or saw?
Well, listen. Right. I'm saying this. Those communities we had congressmen that were black in the 1800s that was trying to represent our people in the community.
They weren't.
What are you
They
talking about?
weren't. They weren't.
Those black African American legislators and what do you call it, politicians that were in Congress in the 1800s, they weren't trying to get votes, push certain things for those communities that were African Americans.
Obviously not, or not the right way.
How do you know they were rejected?
They absolutely were rejected.
That's why Jim Crow and all of us, we don't want you with us. We want you separate. And then when they start making their own little baseball teams, the Negro African American, they say, oh, we got to dismantle that too. They started taking people out of there, the biggest stars, and bringing them over to the national.
Yeah. And what is that called? Assimilation.
Yeah. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
So the Negro Leagues didn't say, nah, fuck that. I'm not being part of that system. We're going to stay over here and keep doing our own thing. Why didn't they do that? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Assimilation. You have to become part of the system, not get halfway in and start rebelling at things that the system calls for.
I'm not saying to rebel against the system.
Oh, yes, you are. If you're saying you want to do your own thing.
No, I'm saying within your communities, in the beginning, you have to, in order for that.
You're away from the mic again.
In order for us
Mm-hmm.
to thrive within the community, have a staking ground in political offices or in Washington D.C. itself, to listen to what we want also in our communities, because we already are in those communities. Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
We're amongst each other. For us to get those social programs or financial established wealth, banks being set up in our communities and owned by our intelligent people who we, from the days of when we went to those so-called black African American colleges, because we couldn't go to the European Caucasian colleges.
Mm-hmm.
We were discriminated against. So we started to assimilate later on, but I'm saying at that time, it was like they had to survive to do it, because they told us we couldn't do it with them. So what I'm saying, to the point where they said, all right, we want to assimilate too, but we just don't want to be separate but equal. We're in that time right now, in that period where we have to either go left or right. So what I'm saying is, to assimilate, we first have to become more communal with each other.
Eliminate the three, like you just said. We had to do it for our own back then, like HBCUs.
I don't believe in all. I don't care to send my child there now, or promote it. Oh yeah, HBCU.
No. The point.
It was a have to.
I'm trying to make part. Right. It was a have to for that time. So that's where our history came from. If you eliminate that now, and you say, you know what, we're not going to allow you to say that we are our own thing, then at this point in human history, we would have to be accepted. It's not like back then where, like you said, like Jim Crow, we don't want you apart, separate but equal kind of thing. You know, whites and coloreds and all that. That's done with. It's over with. So why do we still have HBCUs? Why do we still have NAACP?
Well, when you go to these other majority Caucasian colleges, right?
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Name one of the big schools. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Name one of the big schools that say you can't go because you're black.
Say that. I was going to say something else. I was
Okay.
going to say when you go there, their curriculum doesn't infuse the history, the broad history, Because there's a lot of dudes that I knew who was a teacher that did the African American history. Right? He was kicked off the plantation, if you want to call it. They told him that he was going too hard.
Yeah, you remember what I said, right? Get rid of the what? 3.
So you're saying Western European history, all history itself shouldn't be taught.
What I'm saying is, one people's history should not be put on a separatist pedestal. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. So you're saying that the schools that
and it's not so
don't
much
really
teaching the history as so much as using the history to say you owe me something.
No, I'm not talking about that.
But that's what's happening.
We're talking about history of black people who did something in history. We also contributed to history.
Isn't that forming a separatist movement?
No.
Hey, okay, this black person did this. I want everybody to know this. Why?
Because you didn't even let me be a part of this nation.
Before.
Right.
In the history.
Right.
Which I said eliminate history.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is when you go to the schools now, even today, a lot of these schools not even telling you that we were the first doing this. We did this too, way before you guys did it. Right?
I don't know. All right. You told me a second ago, so I need some tangibles. What are we talking about? What are they claiming?
The shield.
And who's the they?
The shield on the spaceships, right? The bottom shield when it dresses and goes into space, right?
Mm-hmm.
This African American guy who I don't remember his name, who created it.
Okay.
Right? He contributed to science.
Okay.
You know, space science.
Okay.
The cell phone. The first guy who did the actual.
Okay.
It's a black man.
I get you. And George Washington Carver was killing the peanut. I get all that.
I'm just saying.
My question is,
hold on, let me finish.
What does that have to do with whether or not the person was black? What does that have to do with? If that doesn't matter,
contributed to this country building it, or science, or anything.
We know we've contributed to this country being built.
No, a lot of the children today don't know that. A lot of the millennials don't know this.
What you're talking about is the difference between us.
Half of the people in our age don't know.
What you're talking about is the difference between us, the Jewish people, the Asian people, and everybody else. You see, because the Jewish people, they know what they put together and they know what they created.
Right.
How many of them do you see them fighting, saying, "Hey, I want this holiday. I want Yom Kippur."
They get it.
No, they don't get it. They don't.
They get those days off.
I'm not talking. Come on, you comparing apples and train cabooses now.
What
I'm not talking about days off. I'm talking about celebrating somebody because they did something and they're black. Name 3 inventions that a Jewish person has made, because you just named 3 black ones. Now, if the Jewish people are doing this exact same thing, and you're saying that that's the society we should move towards, name 3 Jewish inventions that they're not getting credit for.
I don't remember.
You know why?
On the top of my
You know
head.
why? Because they're not using it as a form of entitlement.
No,
they're not saying, hey, it should be taught in the schools because they did something. And that's what I'm talking about, the history part that has to be eliminated.
We need to know it, though. We don't know it.
Hold on.
How do we
hold
know
on,
it?
hold on,
How
hold
do we
on,
get
hold
to
on.
know it?
You're talking about 2 different things now. Whether or not we know it is a fault of our own people not teaching our own people. But what's happening is our people in society want, listen, because we're not teaching it. The things that you just mentioned, hold on. The stuff that you just mentioned, how many youth have you told? No. Come on now.
One or
Let's
two.
be real.
1 or 2.
So 1 or 2 you've told, and when I mean youth, I mean high school and below, that you've said those things,
Nah,
the things that they invented.
1 or 2. Yeah, my nephew's child. I told him.
Oh, okay. So out of your family, how many youth have you told?
Not much.
Not many.
No.
So whose fault is that? See, what you're asking is, white America teach this in the schools because I know it and I want them to know it, but I'm not willing to step out and do it. In that term, I love you, brother,
So,
but that makes you no better than these pastors out here.
All right, so then that's why I was saying before, like in every other community, they have their little community of how they teach their children, and they have
Right.
they have a system of how
Right.
they educate their
Right,
youths.
right. But they have places and things inside their community that they teach it. They don't turn around and tell the system, hey, stop what you're doing.
But I said that earlier to you that we should have these type of things going on in our community. You say, no, why are you segregating? Why are you
No.
He's acting like that shit.
No, what I was saying was you can't turn around and go to the system and tell the system, teach this.
I'm not asking. No. Before,
Yes, you were.
No, I'm saying,
You were
no,
saying
hold
that
on.
old boy
No,
at the college
hold
got
on.
put off
No, wait
the
up.
plantation
No, I said
because
before I said that, we were talking about communal. We have to. Why are we worried
No.
about?
You were talking about communal wealth and financial and growing
And
your
education.
own black.
And education. We
Yes.
have to educate ourselves to do these things.
No.
And we should be teaching each
Hold on.
other, our own family,
Hold on.
who this guy was as a
Hold
black
on.
man
The
or
Jewish
black woman.
communities are not only teaching, or the Jewish communities are not teaching their kids how to do stuff that isn't being learned anywhere else. Or they're not secluding any knowledge of anything or anywhere else. The problem
So you
is,
don't think it's important for
No.
for a nation of people not to know their ancestors
here's
and the people in their nation of
the
their,
reason
of
why
their group
it
of
sounds
people?
like that from me, because I don't believe in a nation or separate nations of people. I firmly believe in a nation of one people. See, my thought process on it is bigger, is
So you're-
on a human level.
I understand. So you're.
I don't want to
you're done
hear
with your
black.
ethnic group.
I don't want. Yeah,
You're
I don't
done
want to hear
with-
black. Here's
So
the thing.
why did you take a DNA test to know that your people are Senegalese?
No.
and this and that?
No. I took it to find out where I came from. I don't give a damn about. I already told you. All right. When it comes to me versus African, I don't consider myself African at all. Not at all.
But your ancestors are from
I don't call myself African
The majority
American.
of your ancestors
I
come
don't.
from a specific.
Right, but none of that
Haplotype, right?
influences who I am. None of it. I'm not saying I'm strong, black, proud, African American. I don't do none of that. I could not have joined the Marine Corps if I thought that way.
Right, but I'm saying
Because,
I'm asking.
and the reason why I joined, other than the fact that, it was
I'm
an easy
saying
way
to
for me to
acknowledge
finish
that,
school.
To acknowledge your history.
Look.
ancestors.
There's
You
no
don't have to be-
denying.
you don't have to wear
Hold on.
dashiki
No.
or go there.
There's no denying what genotypes is that I'm genetically a part of. There's no denying that. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is, I don't use that on basis on who I am. That has no bearing to me. None. I don't give a damn about that.
You carry all your ancestors in your DNA.
No.
Right now.
No.
Whether it's black or white, whatever they come from.
No.
I physically am carrying my
DNA.
grandmother's DNA.
My DNA is carrying human DNA.
Sure.
My genetic type might be showing from areas that my people might have came from.
Sure.
But that's not controlling who I am. I'm not using that as a crutch to say, hey, I'm part of this.
It's not a crutch.
It becomes a crutch. No. This is why.
Listen, I have a friend from Ghana. His people are Hausa. I mean, excuse me. I'm gonna get this specific shot. Hold on one second.
Hey, we're running out of time. We ain't got time for the thinking part. All I'm gonna say is, okay, so he's from Ghana. What does that do for him here? Not a damn thing. That's exactly my point. whether you're from Africa, or whether you're from certain portions of Africa, whether you're from Australia, whether you're from Ireland, Switzerland, whether you're from freaking any country in Scandinavia, that has no bearing on what you're doing here. For everybody else, that shit don't matter. When Asian people come here, they don't say, I want America to recognize Asia. Nah, they get in their groups and their sects, and they get in the like-minded sects of people like them. And then they move like that. We don't have that ability. And that's what I'm saying. That's based on the fact that they went to areas in Africa, and every American who has gone through slavery was on the losing side. Let's be real. We're only here because not only was it the Portuguese and the Spanish and the Europeans that came and grabbed us, it took people in African regions who wanted to get rid of their enemies, who allowed those people to come in and snatch their enemies just so that they can have more. Because if we stood as people of the African continent in those areas, I don't give a shit how much gunpowder you have. If we had the intellect that we say we have, which we do, if we had the same ingenuity that they had.
It was the Arab trade too, so there's Arab.
That doesn't mean dick, dude. It doesn't mean dick. It only went down because our own people turned on us. If we were fighting each other, like you got mad brothers and sisters. I can't remember the number, forgive me.
It's 7.
All right, it's 7 of y'all. And I know y'all are spread across a far region, but say you were a little bit closer together in age. If all 7 of y'all walk down the street and 2 dudes are threatening to fuck just you up, the only way that can happen is if the other 6 say, fuck it, go ahead. That's the only way. So it doesn't matter what groups came into those African regions to snatch us out. It still was the fact that our own people were like, take that motherfucker. It helps me out.
It was
and that's what the problem.
It was an opposing ethnic group tribe.
But see, that's the thing. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. If we were all brothers in Africa and we fight amongst each other. No, listen what I'm saying. We fight amongst each other. Cool, I get it. The second that somebody whose skin was different or spoke a different language comes in, then we should have united and be like, no, you can't come in here with that bullshit. We didn't have the same money. We didn't have the same culture. We didn't have the same religion.
Right.
We had nothing in common with them. Yet they came in and said their big thing was, hey, all that land over there that you want, I can help make it yours. Who's the king over there? I can help you not only overthrow that king, but I could take him and his entire family so that they never fight you again.
So that makes you feel like you don't have nothing to do with those people anymore?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody whoops my ass, I'm no longer friends with that person. I'm just not built that way,
no.
But
listen, this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're from the Fulani tribe, I'm just throwing it out there. If you're from the Fulani tribe,
it has no bearing on me being, and I'm not from there.
Finish.
If my ancestry is,
I'm giving you a point. I'm trying to make a
okay.
point. If you're from the Fulani tribe descendant, but the Watutsi is the one that captured you. And now they got you working for them. Or they try to fuse you in, because that's a lot of what really happened a lot of time. And it became their workers, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Right? And then this people comes over. They didn't tell me exactly what they're going to do with you, but, hey, we need some of your Fulanis.
Yes, they did.
And they said,
yes, they did. Yes, they did.
No, listen.
Yes, they did.
Listen.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They didn't just say, "Hey, can we borrow some of your workers that you have enslaved?"
Another episode.
Come on.
I'm gonna bring those facts to you.
Even if they didn't, you basically said the main point. If I was from Tribe A and Tribe B enslaved me, then why the fuck? Are you kidding me?
But listen to what I'm saying. I'm not even finished. And if they took you there, right? And 400 or 500 years later, You say, no, we're born 500 years later.
Okay.
The reality of it.
Uh-huh.
I still got Fulani in me. I don't got Hausa that stole me. Why am I so disconnected from Fulani? Fulani didn't sell me. Watutsi, the other tribe sold me.
Am I disconnected from saying I'm Fulani American? Am I disconnected from saying I'm Watusi American? I'm disconnected from saying I'm African American.
I got you.
That means,
I got you.
and as
I'm
we
with
both
you.
know,
I'm with you on
as
that.
we both know, Africa is not a country.
I'm with you on
So
that.
therefore,
I'm
I
not talking about
disconnect from the continent.
Oh.
That's everybody. So that answers your question to what you're asking me. I disconnect completely. I am umpteenth
So-
from what my DNA
so,
has shown.
let me ask you a
I
question.
am at least
Let me ask you a question.
7-generation American.
All right, let me say this.
7.
Let me say
7,
this.
not 2,
Let me
not
ask,
3.
Let me ask you a question. So, if you're born in your family, co-family, and an opposing family that grew up with Coles
Mm-hmm.
snatched you up
Mm-hmm.
as a baby
Mm-hmm.
and sold you to some other people,
Mm-hmm.
and your parents been looking for you, damn, oh my God.
Right.
Then you grow old, because you grew up with this other family,
Right.
and you found out, hey, you were snatched up from that other.
Right.
You're telling me you're gonna say F the Cole family? I don't care. I'm with these people now. I don't want to be part of you guys. And your mother's like, you're my son though. You're my son. And you be like, oh, you didn't. I don't know what happened if you tried to get me or not, but I'm with them now. I don't need to know you anymore. That's what you're telling me.
As brutal and as unfortunate as that sounds, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Now I get you.
That's what I have no choice but to tell you that.
Wow.
Because here's the thing.
So as an
Here's
adopted
the thing.
person,
Here's the thing.
shouldn't go look
Here's
for
the
their
thing.
parents.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. What paperwork or what proof do I have that that's the way it happened? You can say it right now, but what if somebody says that, but that ain't what's really happened? What if, in fact, my mother was like, I don't want that kid.
Right.
I already got 9 kids in the house.
Sure.
And this kid's here. He's just adding, hey, you want this kid?
But just because you don't
your skin
know
is lighter,
how it
but
went
that's
down,
exactly.
that's what
So
you- that's why you're
therefore,
disconnecting the whole-
well, that was my basis on our entire talk.
Oh, I
There
didn't know that.
is
I
no,
got
no.
your point.
I'm no. That's what I'm saying. A whole basis of what my entire argument was. We don't have paperwork. We don't have any type of history that shows anything. So the only thing I could go off of is the majority or the generalist thought on what happened. I can't. Of course, I could throw pipe dreams and hope that I was part
There is proof that what I just said earlier.
for the minority,
No, I'm
and
saying,
it's by word
But
of
you didn't ask-
mouth.
I'm just listen, sir. There is paperwork and there is paper trail on those Europeans that came and said, we want to bar them. We want some Africans for such and such.
No.
Right? But when they went there, it was totally. They didn't know they were going to use them brutally over here like this. They didn't know that.
Rah,
They're gonna be whipping them.
rah.
Come on,
Maybe
man.
in the beginning.
You think-
Maybe in the beginning of it. But remember, slavery and the taking of African peoples.
Chattel slavery was totally.
Hold on.
And now
The
different
taking,
animals. Say
the
chattel. You
taking.
gotta say chattel slavery for the public. That's a different animal from the way they were using each other in Africa like that.
Hold on.
And even in Europe.
Hold on. What I'm saying is the taking of African peoples to the Americas. The beginning 1 or 2 people, or the beginning of it all, yeah, they might have slicked their way in. But once it got going, you can't sit here and say that the Nigerians of the region or the people of the Gold Coast region had no idea where those people were
No,
going.
I never said that. I
But-
said they didn't know that they were doing a chattel slavery effect. Beating, killing these.
Hold
hanging them
on.
from trees, Doing
That-
everything they want as property and busting their asses.
Like I said, at the very beginning.
You said that. How? You,
Hold on. No. I said at the very beginning, they probably didn't know. But once the train was moving, they knew good and hell well what was happening to us because they were helping keep us in the storehouses waiting for boats to get there. And they saw,
Yeah,
bruh,
but did you know
there
exact-
is documented proof showing how actual Nigerians and people of Lagos was treating the captured Africans on the Gold Coast. And they were just as bad as what was happening in the Americas. So not only did they knew, but they were taught how to hold them while they waited for new boats to come in and take their asses out. So you can't say, oh, well, we can fall back on the laurels of, I'm sorry, I didn't know they were doing that. Yes, you did. Now, being generous, I'll say the first 20 years of it, being very generous, they can fall back on ignorance.
Well,
But come on.
they've been apologizing, those countries, those, the more recent. When
That's funny.
No,
Because I get mail. I get a mail and I got a cell phone.
Dude.
I got no apology.
I've been seeing.
Like I said, no. I'm not talking about what you had to
Individually.
go out and find. What I'm saying is, I'm here.
Oh, shit,
I'm here. Hold on. I'm here because somebody in my line was a victim of that.
No, I understand that.
I was not I don't come from a free line of well-established Moors
My
that
people do.
that exactly. So, having said that, I can look at my phone right now. I have no apology.
I got it. I understand that.
So
But
for you to say they're
but-
apologizing to who? The people who they feel matter and who can help them. So they want to say, "Hey, I'm sorry we did this to your
that
people,
was a public
Colin
apology.
Powell. I'm sorry
No,
that we
no,
did
no,
this,
no,
people of the Obama family."
No,
But
no,
the rest of us,
It's
they ain't
not-
apologizing to.
No.
Who are they apologizing to
I've
then?
seen it publicly done. On
You've
TV,
seen it where?
On YouTube. I've seen it.
Come on, who's apologizing?
It's these local villager, we call them,
Are they apologizing to a specific people?
people who go over there and visit. I've seen it.
So, in other words, you have to go seek an apology.
No, and they did public apology. I've seen the officials over there do public apology. I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen the videos. Of
Okay,
it.
let me try this. Let me try this analogy.
Unless
Me and
they're
you,
lying.
me and you sitting in this room right now. I jump across the table and punch your teeth out. 2 years later, I go on TV and be like, "Hey, man, I want to apologize to my boy Sun Ra for punching his teeth out. Yeah, I shouldn't have did that. I don't tell you. I publicly put it out there. Does it make you feel any better?
No.
Does it make you feel like you were a part of?"
Now, let me ask you a question. You got that in your mind, so restrictive of them to say, I'm not them. That's the same thing with these Europeans who never apologized to us here.
I never said
Publicly.
they should. I'm not.
No, I'm saying that they never did it to these guys, right? Respectfully.
Absolutely.
So you don't think we deserve it?
No. That's not the way America is built. It's just not. And see, that's the problem I have with socialism, and that's what holds us down as a people, because we're looking for somebody to give us something.
No, I'm not talking. I'm saying being a humanistic person, like you said we should all blend in as one human, right?
Right.
So don't we
And
need
get
some
rid.
sort
No,
of?
no. Get rid of the
It's
three.
psychological.
No. Get rid
All
of the
this-
three. Get rid of the three.
And you get rid of the three. I'm
Okay.
saying
So
psychologically,
if you
people are
get
still-
rid of the history, then you don't think about the history. Right. You can't
Why-
turn around and
but-
get rid of
but
it
why-
and still think on
But
it.
why do you think I'm just thinking about the history that's negative? I'm talking about history.
Because all you said was the history is thinking. You're talking about them apologizing and them.
No. I'm not talking. Besides that, I said, shouldn't we know our history of our positive stuff? What we did, the traffic light, things that we've done productive in science.
Absolutely.
Why we
It's
can't- why we
no.
can't learn about our own people?
No. See, and again, like I said, it's not a matter of not knowing. It becomes a problem when we tell these people over here that they need to stop what they're doing and no. I'm not saying
like
you.
that.
I'm not saying you.
I'm not saying
But
we
that's
said it like.
hold on.
I said when we do the reset, I don't believe that we should be doing that. I'm not talking about what they're doing now. I'm talking about I spoke when I.
So what are you saying the reset would be then?
Just like what you said. You said, you get certain things, you get rid of it. I'm only asking the questions, and I believe in everything you said. You get rid of the religion. I don't believe in the religion should be the head of our communities.
Yeah, but you think the
I
color
said
and the
spiritually.
history should.
Huh?
You think the color and the history should.
I think
You very strong
no,
belief in that.
I believe that us as individuals, if you know you're a specific culture, you came from a specific ethnic.
Then who runs the thing? Who runs the thing?
You have councilmen in your communities. Just
Yeah,
like
but
elders. Elder is an
like
elder.
my dad said, anything with more than one head is a freak, dog. So how do you run?
Listen,
How many captains? How many captains do you have on a ship,
sir? Just like you in your own. You said if as a Republican, you don't want nobody to run how you run your household, right?
First,
now in our community, it's like a household. It's a community of people, of the same people that want to learn about. Oh, my uncle was a this, and my auntie did that, and because they maybe want that'll influence the children. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be an electrician.
Right.
I want to be a plumber like Uncle such and such.
But here's where the difference
That's what we
is in the
should teach
household. What I teach my kids in my household is because I want to teach them that. I don't depend on somebody else to teach them just because
for them to teach
you
us.
are
I said
though.
us in our community,
Right.
teach ourselves,
Right.
Like the Jewish community, they teach themselves
right.
how to do.
So, and like I asked
At
you
bar
before,
mitzvah, they teach them how
like
to
I said
economics, how
before,
to manage money, how to.
like I said before, you're part of the Black American Bronx community, right?
Okay, well, let's go.
Okay. Outside of your family, how many youth in the Bronx Black community have you reached out and taught them things? So who's supposed to teach them?
I'm saying when I was there at the time.
Come on, don't get semantic on me. Because I just asked you this question a few seconds ago and your answer, okay.
No, I'm saying when I was coming up in the community, personally, I was all about team. Like, yo, let's do this, man. Let's build let's create a business.
No. That's not what I'm asking.
Well, we kicking, or we would be kicking. I used to go to 125th Street all the time. And we kicking the Willy Bobo about history and all of that.
But that's not what I'm asking you.
You said how much people that I've taught.
No, I'm saying how many people in your community have you taught? Not how many people have you rubbed ideas about, which you know what teaching is, right? Okay, how many have you taught? Yes.
Quite a few. Drumming. I was a drummer. Yeah, that's a skill set.
Brother, we're not talking about freaking jobs and skill set. What have we been talking about for the last 2 hours now?
Politics and history and stuff like that.
How much of that stuff, the stuff that you're pushing, that you're saying as a community, we should be teaching our own, how many have you taught?
I tried a couple. Yeah, my community. I didn't hold a class, but
Well, then how else are they supposed to learn? Because if you're not going on the street and teaching one by one, then it got to be in a class type situation, right?
Of course.
Okay, so how many classes have you had?
That I taught over?
Yes.
I never ran no class, no.
Okay, so how are they supposed to get this knowledge that you have that they don't have?
The only way to do it, you teach it as in your own community.
And you've done that how many times?
I haven't done it really. Not like that.
You see the point, right? You see the problem?
What's that?
You see the problem? The problem is, if we're going to do like the Jewish communities, then we need to do like the Jewish communities.
I believe in that.
Right, but you're not doing that.
I can't do it. I haven't done it.
Exactly. But what's the excuse and why you're not doing it?
Because I was busy trying to build myself first. When I was building myself, giving back now, I always wanted to give back. Yeah, I always wanted to do that. Stay tuned to part 3 of Politics and History on our next episode of Connect 36. Peace.